Hello Scorpio, thank you for joining me for this reading today. So Scorpio, really quick introduction. There are no dates on these messages anymore, so it doesn't really matter when the video finds you. If you resonate with something in the story, then that's absolutely fine. There isn't a timestamp on it. Energies can be reversed, so if you see me as interpreting one side of a story and I'm saying that this is you here, Scorpio, but you're resonating with the other side, that's absolutely fine. You can swap the roles. It's just easier if I sort of stick with one narrative, so I'm not swapping and changing too much, otherwise that can get a bit confusing. And then the final message is, please don't try and force the message to fit, Scorpio. You know, if you feel like it is actually resonating with your storyline, then that's great. But, you know, don't try and make it fit, because then, you know, you're just going to get misinformation and a whole lot of confusion, and we don't want that. So, my lovely Scorpions, let's pull. Ooh, that one wanted to come out. An animal spirit. The so cute. Look at all the little piggies. Oh, okay. This is interesting, Scorpio, because I imagine that I'll pull like a deeper meaning from this card, like the more we move through. But at first glance, the so always makes me think of the Celtic goddess Ceridwen, okay? Who is actually an associate of the Scorpion sign, okay, because she rules basically the underworld. She basically, her symbols are a cauldron, which symbolizes death and rebirth, which is you, Scorpio. So I absolutely do want to say that this is definitely you here in the reading, or something that's having a very big influence or impact on you and your current environment right now. But so Ceridwen is very much connected to the moon. She's very much connected to the lunar energies. And, you know, as a water sign yourself, you're very much in flow with the natural order of things. You know, you understand the deeper mysteries of life as a Scorpio. You know, you feel very deeply, you feel very intuitively, and you find it a lot more easier than other signs necessarily, you know, that aren't of the realm of water perhaps, to ride the currents of life. You know, you kind of just understand that there is a deeper purpose or a deeper meaning behind every single one of your experiences. And, you know, with all these tiny baby piglets here, Scorpio, you know, I'm seeing you here as this main so, okay? This mama piggy, papa piggy, male or female. And obviously, as we can see, you know, these piglets here, they're much more underdeveloped, or they're, you know, at a much more immature stage in their process. You know, they haven't gone through life, they haven't gone through as many experiences as you have, Scorpio. So I'm not necessarily saying that you're dealing with people who are actually younger than you, but Scorpio, I do want to say that at the minute, whichever Scorpios I'm connecting with, there's something about you that is taking a stance of a deeper awareness, a deeper understanding. It's like you see the bigger picture, you understand the reasoning behind why a specific process is happening right now. And maybe you're trying to communicate that to other people, you know, you're trying to help them understand, you're trying to help them see it from a different perspective, because, you know, anybody who is not familiar with scorpionic energy, you know, or anybody who's not familiar with spirituality, the whole process of death and rebirth can be something that is very frightening. You know, it's a taboo subject, and I'm not talking about literal death, okay? I'm not talking about literally passing over into the other side. What I'm talking about is like a death of the self, a death of identity, okay? A death of a process, a cycle that, you know, we all go through, you know, ebbs and flows, wheel of fortune and that. But there's something about you that, whilst everybody's kind of frantically running around because they don't quite understand the bigger picture, you're very, very calm. And you see how these piglets are actually kind of suckling from her? It's almost like there's something about your stance on this, there's something about your position in this whole situation that is giving information to other people that people are finding nourishing. You know, you're helping them, you know, because when we think about milk, you know, it's something that helps you know, the infant grow strong. It helps them to develop their immune system. It helps them to develop spiritually. So, you know, it's actually quite a healing totem, this, when we really look into it. It's actually quite a healing totem. So Scorpio, you might be literally working in the spiritual arts, and by that I mean, you know, this could be representing somebody who does energetic healing. Okay, you might be somebody, just to throw out more examples, you might be somebody who works with, you know, intuitive diets, you know, intuitive eating, natural holistic practices, and you're sharing that wisdom with others. You know, you might literally be providing a source of, you know, organic food. One second, sorry, my door just opened because of the wind. Sorry about that, Scorpio. You might literally be offering like a holistic service of some kind, you know, providing organic food, organic supplements. You know, it's that kind of, it's not like industrialized, whatever service it is that you're providing. And again, this could literally just be representing, you know, the milk. It could be, you know, communication of knowledge, communication of a higher awareness. But whatever it is that you're doing, it is bringing comfort and it's bringing healing to others, okay? So what was I saying before about this whole death and rebirth process? A lot of people find very frightening. And with all the changes that are going on right now in the world, you know, lots of people are living in a state of fear, in a state of uncertainty, you know, stressed out, anxious. But it's almost like whatever it is that you're doing, whatever it is that you're providing, Scorpio, has a calming effect, you know, because we can think about the infant suckling. You know, it's calming, it sends them sleepy, it relaxes their body. It's that whole of a vibe. That's really cool, Scorpio. Really cool. I love that. So different from any of the other readings. Okay, so we're going to pull a bit more on this. So, yes, what was I saying? I love it when the cards just come out and they just like give proof of what I was saying. Okay, so first card out is She of the Cruach. This is the Divine Mother, Scorpio. This is like the absolute highest principle, the highest vibration of feminine energy. It's the divine goddess, okay? And what was I saying before? You know, the So is very connected to lunar goddesses. It's very connected to Ceridwen. And although Ceridwen can be an uncomfortable energy maybe at first, because, you know, she surrounds more of the darker taboo subjects in spirituality maybe, nonetheless everybody goes through the symbolism that she represents of going into her womb, you know, going through the whole death process, rebuilding oneself and going through a rebirth. So this is literally a card about nourishment. It's the energy of nourishment. And what was I saying about you being this mama papa piggy here to a group of people? There's something about you that's coming across as very nurturing. But I do want to say that whatever it is that you're supplying to other people, Scorpio, it is so important right now. It's almost like crucial, whatever it is that you're supplying them with, whatever service it is. I don't know what service you are providing, Scorpio, but there's something about these people are seeing the service that you provide right now in these times of stress, in these times of uncertainty. They see it as an absolute necessity. They're very reliant upon it. Not in the sense of they're completely dependent on it. You know, it's not like a codependent kind of energy. That's not the sort of dynamic here, but it is something that it's keeping them going. It's keeping them recharged. It's helping them refuel. It's helping them heal throughout this whole situation. You're very much bringing in the light of the darkness. The light in the darkness, sorry. What was I saying again? the so is connected to the lunar aspect, it's connected to the moon. There's something about you, Scorpio, right now. You'll have to excuse my throat. My voice keeps dropping out. I ate some spicy food before I came on camera, so my throat is just a little bit like ugh. But there's something about you that is bringing in the moonlight amongst the darkness. People are really looking up to you right now as something that is lightening the load. It's helping them understand, it's helping them process the whole situation from a different perspective, or if it's not that, because you know you're giving teaching or learning, there's something about it that is just healing. You know, if you are physically giving a service like Reiki or holistic remedies, you know, something like that. I do want to say, whatever it is, whichever Scorpios I'm connecting with, it's Scorpios that are providing spiritual services of some description. But you're definitely taking this mother energy and applying it to your life right now. You're providing the spiritual juice, the spiritual juju that people need to keep going. How many cards was that? God, these cards came out in the other readings as well. Okay, so we've got the Piper and Iris of the Rainbows. So Iris of the Rainbows, this card is actually connected to the Greek goddess Iris, who was a messenger of Hera, Hera, I'm not quite sure how you say it. But Iris of the Rainbows is a literal goddess, okay? So the way that we can take this symbolism is she is a bringer of a message, she's a herald of a message, but it's a message of joy, it's a message of optimism, it's a message that inspires hope in people. You know, look how she's holding the rainbow here. Sorry, my camera doesn't actually focus, which is really annoying, but hopefully you can kind of see here that there's this rainbow that's sort of shooting out of her hand. So again, I do want to say, Scorpio, I could literally be connecting with somebody here that actually does Reiki, because with the energy that's coming out of her hands, there's something, like I was saying, that is very healing about you, you know? So I could be connecting with someone that does Reiki, but you know, that's just kind of one thread that's coming through here. But you know, there's something about the message that you're bringing forward, or the impact that you're having, that is lightening the whole situation. And I do want to say, Scorpio, that because you're lightening the situations of individuals or one-to-one, because you're inflicting change in others, you are sowing the seeds for them to inflict change upon people around them and everything else. You know, it's like a domino effect. You know, if we can raise the consciousness and the awareness and open people's minds, you know, even just one-to-one in a conversation, if we can plant a seed of wisdom, a seed of higher understanding, a seed of higher knowing in one individual, that individual then takes that and then passes it on to somebody else. So although we might feel like we're only having an impact directly on the person that we're talking to, or the person that we're interacting with, what you don't realize is that that adds up, it spreads like wildfire, and then eventually more and more people have that seed of wisdom, that seed of knowledge. You know, it's like that, it's like a domino effect, because we're all a collective, right? So there's something about you that is literally coming in. It's very light worker. That's the first time I've said this in all of the videos I've ever done on YouTube so far. It's the first real light worker energy that I've seen truly present itself in a reading so far. Again, we've got two angels here. And which sign was it? Cancer, maybe? So your fellow water sign. But they had these two cards, I'm pretty sure. Because I remember seeing like the imagery of this, you know, it's just so similar with the two wings here and the central system. It looks like a being cross-legged with wings, and it's like so similar to this. Something higher is working through you, Scorpio. There is a much higher, because this represents the cosmos, right? All of the all of the light cards in the deck represent cosmic energies. They represent external forces outside of the human sphere of influence that influence the human sphere, if that makes sense. Okay, so there's something seriously powerful that's actually working through you, Scorpio. using you as a conduit, channeling. You're channeling an excessive amount, and I do want to say an incredible amount of divine feminine energy, divine feminine aspects through whatever medium it is that you're doing it through. And because of that, like I was saying, you're literally, you are, and I don't say this, you know, lightly, because I don't like throwing these terms around when I don't really see it, but I am in this case, and I am wanting to say that there is something about you and whatever it is that you're doing that is touching the hearts of a lot of people, and you are actually raising people's consciousness during this time. It's like you're going into the darkest places, you know, like I was saying, Ceridwen, the underworld, you know, fear, the shadow. You're going into the darkest places, you're bringing the moon, you're bringing the light, you're shining a light in there, and it's lifting everybody else up. So whatever it is that you're doing on a daily basis, or through your craft, through your medium, you are inflicting a much bigger change than you actually realize, Scorpio. It's having a domino effect. And I'm literally just hearing like an applause from the other side. Like they're very, very proud of whatever it is you're doing. Because we have the Piper reversed here. So this is the card of illusion, nightmares, fears. But it's an illusion of a collective. Okay? So like I was saying, you know, because of these confusing and, you know, perhaps frightening times for some people, you know, everybody's getting affected by it very, very differently. There's something about you that is pulling away the veil of illusion from people. You're waking people up to something. You're pulling the veil away from their eyes so they can see the picture much more clearly, like you do. Because this is all cloud, this is the fog of illusion. You know, you're walking through the forest and a deep fog sets in and you can't find your way. You know, these little piggies, bless them, these little piggies here are kind of like lost wayward souls at the minute. Or they would be if they didn't have your, by the way, sorry if you can hear people talking, I have people in the room next door, so that's why, if you can hear other voices. But, you know, there's something about you that's helping people navigate through this confusion, through these confusing times, through the fog. You're helping people navigate through it, and you're helping them to see things from a different perspective and to see things more clearly, to see things not from a place of fear. And that's why I'm saying whatever it is that you're doing is incredibly healing, Scorpio. You know, it's interesting because Scorpio, you're represented by the scorpion, which is our deepest wounds. It's our deepest wounds, okay? Because the scorpion, you know, it stings us, it injects its venom. And, you know, it's a shadow creature in the sense of a lot of people are frightened of it. So there's a lot of collective shadow attached to the symbolism of the scorpion. So, you know, you represent our deepest wounds, but Scorpio, you also represent a divine healer because of that, because you are able to go to the darkest places. You know, because it's all very well and good where we stand here, you know, as human beings, you know, people who follow the esoteric, you know, talking about love and light, you know, but we, you know, so many of us don't actually take note of the shadow. But you have to, I'm so sorry if you can hear people talking through there. You have to give light to the shadow. You have to acknowledge the shadow, because if you don't acknowledge it and you push it away, then it only grows and it becomes more taboo, and you don't talk about it or you don't acknowledge it, and then it just grows in strength. It's like you give power to it because you're fearful of it. And so many people are kind of like that on the esoteric path these days, because we talk about love and light, but we don't talk about the shadow enough. But you, Scorpio, it's like you naturally already sit in that baseline where you are just not frightened. You're able to go to those darker places, and you're able to be a beacon and shine a light in those places. And that is why whichever Scorpios I'm connecting with here are incredible healers. Incredible healers. Look at this. Blue is the energy of healing. All right, blue and green actually, because, you know, green, Archangel Raphael. But there's just so much healing that's coming through you. You are inflicting, or sorry, you are triggering, is a better way of putting it, a death and rebirth process in other individuals. I do want to say, Scorpio, that you are vibrating at the highest archetype of your sign, the highest level of your sign, the highest expression of your sign is what you're vibrating at the minute, whichever Scorpios I'm connecting with. You're truly healing a lot of people during this time, Scorpio. So I kind of feel like it wants to finish there. But Scorpio, this is just really such a beautiful reading. Like, this is definitely, I'd say, my favorite reading that I've done so far for any of the signs. And I don't even need to, give any advice or anything. I like to usually finish the messages with some sort of advice or some sort of guidance, to help people kind of see things from a different perspective or understand the situation a little bit better, or, just a word of comfort that, they don't need to worry. But Scorpio, whoever this message is for, whichever Scorpios that I'm connecting with, you are just so in alignment right now, and it really is just, I mean, I just want to applaud you, Scorpio. Keep doing what you're doing, because what you're doing is so important right now in these very confusing times, and you're really helping a lot of people, okay? Even if it might not feel like it sometimes, this is just confirmation and genuinely just an applause from the other side to say, well freaking done, Scorpio, okay? I'm so proud of you, Scorpio. Okay, so I hope some of you might have connected with that, and hopefully, there's some words of encouragement. So Scorpio, please take care of yourself, keep doing what you're doing, have a beautiful day, and hopefully I will see you in my next video. Mwah.